A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is the first edition of Sports Tonight for the week. It's the first day first work day of the week. Please pardon my being a little nervous. It's in light of what we're expecting. We're expecting the official unveiling of Nigeria's World Cup squad, 23-man squad, and everybody's been agitated, waiting for that list to be out. And we're a little anxious here as well. But all the same, we are in for Sports Tonight. We will try to do all that we can to get you up to speed with all that you need to know around the world of sports. That's what we'll be doing on the program this Monday. Well, I told you at the beginning of the show, tonight is a loaded night. We have a lot lined up for you. Expectedly, we will be starting, of course, with the World Cup, the build-up to the World Cup. On the program tonight as well, we have plenty of domestic football to talk about on the program. And of course, we will spend some time to look at the just concluded National Youth Games. The sports minister visited the National Stadium today in Surulere. What exactly did he find at the National Stadium? We will try to talk about it on the program tonight. And of course, as we speak, it's not all football. The French Open is also going on. The top seeds, some are falling by the wayside, some are trudging on, some are powering on. But we'll get you up to speed with all of that as we go along on Sports Tonight this Monday. So thank you for joining us. Welcome once again to the show. We promise a lot. We will try to deliver a lot as well tonight. But starting off the show with me, starting from my immediate right, we're happy to have Onye Buchumachukwu with us on Sports Tonight this Monday. Onye is the news editor of Sporting Life, and we are always happy to have him join us on a Monday like this. Onye, good to have you on Sports Tonight. I know your mind is in the newsroom, because I know the calls you've been making before we came on. But please just stay with us. And let us try and get up to speed.
It's a pleasure to you. Somebody said that waiting for the list is like waiting for the return of our Lord Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think it will get to that, really. Tunde Koike is also here. He's also pointing away, trying to see if we can get a scoop to the list. But we're still waiting. There are different kinds of lists going around today, different speculations about the squad list. But let's just be patient enough to wait for an official pronouncement from the NFF.
Right now, we've seen a minimum of what, three
different versions,
4 lists. So
three versions,
and none of them.
It's just the revised standard version or the original Nigerian version.
No, King James version.
Anyway, we will try to talk about that on the program as well. We will. The deadline for the list to be released by FIFA is tonight. And we expect that before midnight today, all the countries going to the World Cup would have submitted the official squad list of 23 to the World Cup governing body FIFA. We are not alone. Amongst countries that are yet to release the list, Colombia, we are told, is also there. Argentina in our group also there. So we are in good company. We are in good company. But as we go on, if it happens, as we go on Sports Tonight, you can be sure that we will try to get you the details around all of it on Sports Tonight. But guys, I know what it feels like. If you guys are feeling this way, what will those boys be feeling like right now in the United States? What will be going through their minds? I mean, they said they can't even eat. Everybody is just walking around, pacing around, because you don't know what is in. I mean,
it's like when you have finished an examination and the results
have to be released.
You know, you cannot sleep.
You just pace around the notice board.
You know, trying to see whether you pass or not. But for Keshi, it's even more traumatic because yesterday he said that he was convinced and confused.
At the same time.
That convinced with the abilities, the level
the attitude, the commitment
of the players, and confused about the players who drop and the ones who take to the World Cup. I
think it's a good kind of confusion, Tunde. That would be a good kind of confusion. No. But at the same time, this is where your ability as a coach will come to play. You cannot take more than 23. And there are no sentiments to it. No. You cannot write FIFA, that FIFA, look, our team is a family.
Give us a special
Give us a special consideration. Our team is a family. We don't want to drop anybody. Allow us to go with our 30. It's not possible. Everybody must go with 23. So the coach must come out and lay it out as straight, as clearly as possible. This is my final squad.
Ordinarily, if Keshi hasn't told the players who have been dropped by now that they're not going to the World Cup, then I think there's a problem. Because I think leaving it until too late is already killing a lot of people. Some people know that they will be on the World Cup train, but some people are just right now they're just hoping, praying, doing everything and anything that they can. I think it is dangerous to leave it till this late. They've already done all the pre-match training that they were going to do. Is check their fitness levels. He knows everything about that. He needs to know about his World Cup squad. I think he's convinced of 20 players, maybe 20, maybe the last 3 that he was not sure of. I think he has made up his mind about them. But if he has not told those players that that will be dropped by now, that I'm sorry, you wouldn't be going to the World Cup. At this point, the coach will call them quietly to one side. I'm sorry, it's a decision I have to make. You know how it is. If I could take you, I would take you. But you'd have expected by this time he would have told them that you wouldn't be going to the World Cup. So I'm just hoping Keshi has done that. But then again, you cannot really blame him. It's a difficult decision to make.
Well, Oyen, you've been seeing these boys in training. I mean, Keshi talked about the attitude, the hard work, the commitment that these guys have shown in training. He's happy. But I think the kind of problem that Keshi has at the moment is a good kind of problem, which every coach would like to have. You have a bunch of boys who are almost at the same level physically. Yeah,
Tony, it's better to have brilliant children than to have dull ones. You know, and for Keshi,
it's better to try to choose between brilliant children.
I mean, than to have dull ones who cannot do anything.
Yeah.
You know, when you consider the friendly against Scotland, you know, even though some ex-internationals said that only one player, but for me, I saw commitment. You know, I've never seen Ruben Gabriel play with so much commitment.
It's a long time we saw Ruben Gabriel play for
so
Nigeria.
Sharp,
almost 2 years ago.
And fit.
And I was wondering why some people are actually knocking Gabriel. And I was wondering, are we watching the same game?
I watched this game yesterday again for 90 minutes. You know, and I saw a lot of commitment from the players. And, you know, give them this credit. You know, they have done so well. Within, I mean, they trained for barely 2 days. And they were able to, you know, put up that kind of performance against Scotland that have been together for quite some time. They have not lost in 5 games or thereabout. So let's give them some credit. Even if it drops on players, we should encourage them. Players like Uchebo are still young. I remember that when we were going to USA 94, Kanu Nwankwo and the last of Celestine Babangida, they were part of that team, you know, provincial squad, but they were dropped. And 4 years later, they made the team. Even 2 years later, they were in Atlanta.
Olympic champions.
I mean, so that's the spirit. If you don't make it now, for sure that you are going to make it in the next couple of years to the national team. So that should be the spirit. I'm impressed with the way the players, you know, have reacted to the game against Scotland.
Yeah, well, the game against Scotland is gone now. We expect that tomorrow we'll be playing another friendly against Greece. Tunde, that will be a more serious game because at that time we would have known our list of players going to the World Cup. Everybody will be in for the World Cup. So we expect a more cohesive Super Eagles team, a more committed Super Eagles team, a Super Eagles team that will play better by the time we are playing Greece tomorrow.
I disagree in terms of a more committed Super Eagles team. I think even in the last game against Scotland, I saw a particularly committed Super Eagles team. So anything beyond this now, what was displayed against Scotland will be nothing less than superhuman. But the game against Greece will be a notch higher than the game that we played against Scotland. Greece are also preparing for the World Cup as well. They're also in a particularly difficult group as well. They like to sample African opposition as well. We have a small history with them. Remember the Sane Keita red card incident of 2010 and the poor result against them. So there's a bit of an edge to the game, but also there will be some caution as well. You've made the 23-man shortlist for the World Cup. This is not the time for you to go flying into tackles and break your ankle and be out for the next 6 months. So we will see a cagey sort of game. In the game against Scotland, we saw players who wanted to prove themselves by making it to the World Cup. We will now see players who already know they are going to the World Cup, but would like rather appear at the World Cup rather than end up on the treatment table. So it will be slightly cagey, something like a boxing match between two old drivers who are trying not to get injured. But we'll see a really good game against the Greeks. Whether we win or not, I still like to maintain there's always something to be learned in every friendly match. It is just a case of perfecting your tactics and honing team spirit and bonding better.
We'll talk more about friendly games later on and try to also reflect on some friendly games played over the weekend and, of course, observe what Nigeria's World Cup opponents are doing. But before we talk about friendly games, let's just look into our squad for the World Cup and raise a few concerns about some of the stories making the rounds. Gentlemen, over the weekend, before the Scotland friendly, the story was about betting, match fixing, and all of the stories. The game itself did very little to clear some of these doubts, particularly Austin Ejide and the goal that he was ruled offside or that was disallowed in that game, where it looked like he was deliberately pushing the ball into the net. But let's talk about another player. This guy is one of the mainstay of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's been a key member of the team in the last couple of years, and we are expecting, everybody's expecting that this guy will be there for Nigeria at the World Cup. Ogenyi Onazi, the guy who plays his football in Italy with Lazio. Tunde, you follow the story. Onye, you have also followed the story. Ogenyi Onazi, this time mentioned in a match fixing scandal around games during the World Cup. Not exactly what you want for the image of Nigeria and for this player. We must state he has not been found guilty of anything. Was just mentioned, and he has come out to clarify that, look, yes, I went for a meeting with this guy, but once I discovered that it was about match fixing, I left, I said no, and I walked away. Oye, but what can you say around it? Because this story won't just go away.
Well, Tony, I was in the newsroom yesterday in my office, and a certain Chukwuma Okoroji, you know, we don't know his antecedents.
He claims to have been a former player.
But
and claims that he's a FIFA agent as well.
But as long as we are concerned, we don't know him to be a former player. But the story is that he was involved in trying to fix matches for this World Cup, particularly as it concerns yellow card, red cards, and penalties.
Actually, he was caught on camera.
He was caught on camera.
He was caught on camera by an undercover reporter for, I think, was it the Daily Telegraph in the UK?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he was caught saying that, look,
he can throw a game.
He said
for a yellow card.
He had some Super Eagles players under his control. That he could also fix it, that yellow cards, he could fix a yellow card for as much as £41,000 and also a penalty for as much as £81,000. He also said he'd be going to the World Cup to monitor, in quote, his players. And it was a disgusting revelation, considering everything that we've been hearing about.
But let's talk about the Ogenyi Onazi angle to all of it.
Onazi's angle was that he said, or he claimed that he thought it was a meeting, a simple meeting between him, his agent, and someone who was looking to give him an endorsement deal.
Sponsorship
endorsement deal. That when he walked, that was the mindset he had walking into the meeting. But when he got there and these kind of things were being mentioned, he got up immediately, refused to participate, and left the meeting. But my grouse with Onazi was that he should have mentioned this to the football authorities. Even I think Okoroji was also saying that maybe he didn't cooperate. Also, I think he also
said that he could also talk to an influential member of the Football Federation as well.
Well, this
on how players can also make the World Cup team.
These are allegations. Yeah. Just like Tunde said, I think Onazi, this should also serve as a lesson to other players. When you find yourself in a place, you know, where such things are being discussed, the first thing you do is to talk to the football authority. Let it be on record. In case
that you made a formal complaint.
In case there's a revelation later that you were there, that you made a formal complaint. Like this one. It's like your car is stolen or your phone is stolen. You must report to the police. In
case that car is used for another
robbery operation. So that it will be on record that you have reported. You won't be culpable. That's where can be faulted. But at this stage, we cannot say whether he was involved
until FIFA concludes
and it's even difficult. Match fixing allegations are difficult to prove. Remember the case of Sam Soje. He's still hanging. They have not gotten to the root of the matter. He's still hanging because this is a cartel. It's a cartel.
But I'm worried because it looks like every time there's a talk about match fixing, Nigeria somehow is linked to it.
Increasingly.
2010, the Nigeria-North Korea friendly. Remember that game, the 3-1 game that we played in South Africa. That 3-1 game is also under investigation. The 4-1 over Argentina in the friendly, that game is also there. So I'm worried because why would Nigeria always be mentioned? Is it only Nigeria where you have some outrageous incidents during the football game? Of course, we see outrageous incidents in other football matches. Why are those games not also under mention?
But Tony, if you look at Nigeria as a country where two teams can conspire to score 99 goals in the space of 90 minutes, and where a team needs to score 13 goals, a team that has never scored more than 25 goals in an entire season contracts to score 13 goals in a single game in order to gain promotion, then you have to look at it that, you know, this kind of match fixing allegations cannot be too far from Nigeria. We do have an antecedent of this domestically, but my problem is now taking an international or national team tinge, which for me is particularly dangerous. People like, remember the Singaporean who came out to say that he fixed World Cup matches as well, or World Cup qualifying matches as well. Now this Okoroji as well.
For the 2010 World Cup.
I mean, it's for me, the NFA has not come out to make a categorical rebuttal.
Now there have been some press releases by the NFF denying any such.
In a case such as this, that the integrity of the football of Nigeria is being impugned, you will call a world press conference. All the people, Deutsche Welle, CNN, whoever it is, then you defend your country. Then again, they might not have done this because maybe they are carrying out internal investigations. But it will only be prudent of the NFF to alert Interpol, alert FIFA, alert anyone else who is concerned with investigating match fixing allegations in light of everything that has gone on. But we've not heard anything from the NFA, and we've not heard anything from the football authorities internationally either. Okay,
let's leave that on one side and hope that somebody will listen and respond and clarify.